Hello everyone. So today let us do something really interesting, and I thought I'll probably talk about this, especially to new Jira admins. This video is for Jira admins because as a Jira admin you should know how these things work in Jira. Now in Jira, let us say you have a validator, and you can have validators on any transition in your workflow, even on the initial transition, and that initial transition will work for the create issue operation, right? Now let us say I have a validator in my workflow for checking if the sprint is filled in or not. So if I try to create a new story, and if I try to click on the button create, it will give me this error, sprint is required. And this is because I have a validator, and I can then select my sprint and the issue will be created for me, right? So this is a very simple thing, nothing too complicated, right? We all know about it. Now what if you have and just to give you some background, let us say there is a requirement that sprint has to be filled in, only then you want to let people, users, create issues, or maybe there are some other checks that you want to do just to have some control over how, when, and who should be able to create a new story in your issues. Now the thing is, in Jira we also have this functionality which is a clone functionality. Now the way it works is, let us say I have a story here with some description, right? And I may have a label, let us say login admin. Now you can of course clone this issue, and the moment you clone this issue, it will give you the option to basically change the summary. And because the sprint field is mandatory, is required in the create issue validator, that is why Jira is basically not letting me clone the issue. And of course, you can select this option here, clone, and now it will of course work. But you can also remove this sprint field altogether. And if you remove this, and if you now try to clone this issue, you can try, it will not let you. So basically, whenever you're cloning, you are in a way creating a new issue. Of course, when you have a new issue, it will copy those field values. For example, let us try it again. I have sprint. If I try to clone, I can select, okay, I want to clone the sprint value. And I have a new issue which is SSP60. I can see the description, I can see labels, I can see the sprint. Now let us try this with maybe a different field. So when I create a new story, I have a summary which is anyways mandatory. I have what else? Maybe fixed version, right? Let us try with fixed version and let us see what happens. So if you go to your workflow, validator, script validator, of course. So if I go to my script validator in my workflow, I can then add a new condition or maybe include this field. So let us open the transition, which is create issue, and then I can modify this validator which is already there, and I will also include here fix version field, and we can say sprint and fix versions are required, and click on update and publish. We'll test, don't worry, we'll test it properly. So first we'll publish, no, and we are now back to our Jira issue, create issue screen. Let us create a new story, and it will give us the error, sprint and fix versions are required. I can go and update the sprint, and but I need to also update my fix. Where is my fix version? Come on, yeah, this is the fix version, and click on create. So now we have a new issue. Let us go to the new issue and also try to clone. So clone without any, the field values are there. So in this case, it will let us select the sprint value, but because it's a feature. But when you try to clone, it will. You can find the clone issue. Blah blah blah. Okay, let us click on this, and it has cloned. Right, perfect. So this works because the sprint and fixed version, the field values were there. Now let us try to remove. I'll first remove my fixed version, right? And I will then try to create a clone of this, and clone, and it will give you this error, right? So this is something that you need to keep in mind when you are doing this. And let us select the fixed version again, and this time if I try to clone, I don't really want to clone the sprint value. Let us see what happens. We again get the error. So basically the reason for making this video was to show and share that whenever you are cloning the issue using this native clone feature in Jira, it will of course respect the validators that you have. And it's a good thing that this is at least showing us this error, throwing us this useful message, which is again not really looking good, but it looks all right because it says that okay, sprint and fixed versions are required, and it is basically invalid input exception. If you ever try to create a new issue in Jira using a script, you have to basically check whether you can create whether based on the information that you've provided, are you able to create an issue or not. So you can check for this. You can actually validate the outcome of this, and there are plenty of use cases. Of course, I'm talking about Jira Data Center. Basically, you can check if there are some fields that are required, and you can basically, if you want to create your own custom clone, or maybe you want to create an issue from any other tool to Jira using your own script or maybe your own endpoint, you can basically use this invalid input exception and then try and check if the outcome is valid or not valid. So yeah, I thought I'll probably talk about this and show you that clone will respect the validators that you may have on your workflow. And of course, you need to have the permissions sometimes, because usually there's just one validator, which is only let users with create issue permission create an issue, which is of course an obvious, but of course you need to know about these things. All right, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you found this video useful and you learned something new today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.